The fact is, we need new leadership in this country. Right now, we have someone in the White House who can barely talk, barely put together two coherent sentences, who seems to have mental faculties of a child, it's said. There's a person that has nothing going, no intelligence whatsoever, but enough about Kamala Harris. Let's get on to something.
2024 wasn't just an election year, it was the nationwide comedy tour that we didn't know that we needed. So grab your champagne or your Diet Coke and Big Mac in true Trumpian form and join me for a review of the best and funniest Trump moments of 2024, part 3. Trust me, you'll be laughing so hard you might even forget that Tim Waltz was ever on the ticket, because I know everybody else has.
Joe has almost disappeared from view. The only way he could be seen less is if he had a show on CNN. They had nothing.
Mr. President, you actually have worked at McDonald's now versus...
Now I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala. Look at all the fake news. They were most of them. No, most of them, many of them were there. And I'm saying, oh, boy. You know, one little mistake with these guys and your political career's over. You can't even... So I said, man, if I don't get up there, this is going to be very embarrassing. These stupid people, they'll say, he's cognitively and physically impaired. And I can't do that when I'm alongside of this great athlete. I got to get up to that. So look, the first stair is like up here. I'm saying, So I had the adrenaline going and I made it. Tradition holds that I'm supposed to tell a few self-deprecating jokes this evening. So here it goes. Nope, I've got nothing. I've got nothing. There's nothing to say. I guess I just don't see the point of taking shots at myself when other people have been shooting at me for a hell of a long time and they shoot hard. Well, I've been prosecuted because I'm a political opponent of two people that have weaponized our justice system. I've been prosecuted. I just won the big case in Florida. Everyone said that was the biggest case. That was the most difficult case. And I just won it. Now, Biden has a similar case, except much worse. I was protected under the Presidential Records Act. Biden wasn't, because he wasn't president at the time. And he had 50 years worth of documents. And they ruled that he was incompetent, and therefore he shouldn't stand trial. And I said, isn't that something? He's incompetent and he can't stand trial, and yet he can be president. Isn't that nice?
Mr. President,
but they released him on the basis that he was incompetent. They said he had no memory, and he was a nice old guy, but he had no memory, and therefore we're not going to prosecute him. I won the case, and it got very little publicity. I didn't notice ABC doing any publicity on it, George.
We covered you extensively, sir. I'd love to move over on to different topics.
I didn't notice you do any publicity on it at all. I won the case, the biggest case. This is an attack on a political opponent. I have another one where
sir,
I have a hostile judge.
We have you for a limited time, sir. I'd love to move on to different topics.
No, excuse you. You're the one that held me up for 35 minutes, just so you understand.
If we can...
It's been a long tradition for both Democrat and Republican candidates for President of the United States to attend this dinner. It's a rule. You got to go to the dinner. You got to do it. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen to you from up there. You can't do what I just saw on that screen. But my opponent feels like she does not have to be here, which is deeply disrespectful to the event, and in particular to our great Catholic community. Very disrespectful. The last Democrat not to attend this important event was Walter Mondale, and it did not go very well for him. He lost 49 states and he won one, Minnesota. So I said, there's no way I'm missing it. Actually, it was not easy for me to get here tonight. Cause I wasn't going to miss this thing, no matter, I didn't care. I wasn't going to miss it. But that's true. Walter Mondale, 49-1. He was expected to do well, and it didn't work out. It shows you there is a God. I mean, for those people that are questioning it. And you saw the other day they had a weightlifting deal going on, and there's one young woman, she was so proud. Her parents were in the front row. She was going to break the record. They put a quarter of an ounce on each side of the thing. Stood for 18 years. And she got up, and I don't want to imitate her because, you know, my wife, the First Lady, hates when I do this. She said, "It's not presidential." I said, "Yeah, but people like it." She hates it. Our great First Lady. She'll say, "I love your speech today," because it's all over the place. Look at the fake news back there. We get a lot of ratings. You know, we outdid the debates in the ratings. I made my speech to the UAW, and we got better ratings than they did. But no, she said it's not presidential, and I understand. She has two things: that, and she doesn't like when I dance a little bit to the music. And I say, I have a problem. Everybody wants it. They're screaming, "Dance, dance." But our great First Lady, and she doesn't like when I talk about the swimmer either, but maybe I'll do it because this is a little bit, you know, this is a special group. So they get, these are Republicans that have been screwed for years in California. You deserve a little entertainment, right? You deserve it. So they put the weights on the end, little tiny things like a little nothing, quarter of an ounce. And she gets up, oh. And her parents are so proud, 19 years. She's almost there, Boom, couldn't do it. Then this guy who recently, he gets over the weights, looks at him. They said, "Have you lifted before?" "No, I really haven't." She was a world champion, right? "I haven't lifted too much, a little bit. I did it recreationally." "Oh, good." So he gets over the same weights. Bing, bong, bong.
Bing, bing.
He broke the record like by 180 pounds. And then they say, "We will have men in women's sports." These people are crazy. You know, I'm not a big fan of LeBron James, but I said this. I would like to meet with LeBron, say, "LeBron, I've decided I'm going to get out of the presidential business, get out of the real estate business. I'm going to become a basketball coach of women. And I'm going to get him and 4 or 5 other guys to..." And we are going to have the greatest basketball team in history. We will be undefeated forever. Fake news, right? Fake. That term wasn't good. You know, they say that term is no longer in vogue because it's much worse than fake. I don't want to tell you what the real name is. I won't do it because all those cameras would shut off immediately. They don't like that. But apparently Joe didn't think it was fair for me to have the podium to myself with Kamala skipping the event. So he called, looked at me, and said, "Don't." Does anybody understand that? Yeah. I thought it was actually very good until just now. It was announced this morning that at a funeral yesterday, in a rare moment of clarity, Joe told Barack Hussein Obama that, quote, only a few people got that. Or as Rush Limbaugh used to say, Barack Hussein Obama, remember? He was a piece of work, we miss him. But as he told Barack Hussein Obama, quote, "She's not as strong as me. She's not as strong. Do you understand that?" And Obama agreed, saying, "That's true. Other than that, I think the Democrats are getting along quite well." Right? Nobody got that one. No Kamala's word because she spends a lot of time complaining, "I won't agree to another debate." But the truth is, I've debated twice this year, once against Joe Biden and once against David Muir of ABC. That was amazing, 11 times. Catholics, you got to vote for me. Just remember. You better remember I'm here. And she's not. I could have done that too. But you do something that's incredible, the Catholic Church, you're helping the poor, educating children, and supporting the vulnerable. But if you really wanted Vice President Harris to accept your invitation, I guess you should have told her the funds were going to bail out the looters and rioters in Minneapolis, and she would have been here, guaranteed she would have been here. Guaranteed. She would have been okay. She would have been okay with that. But I must say I was shocked when I heard that Kamala was skipping the Al Smith dinner. I'd really hoped that she would come because we can't get enough of hearing her beautiful laugh. She laughs like crazy. We would recognize it any place in this room, and all polls are indicating I'm leading big with the Catholic vote, as I should be, But I don't think Kamala has given up yet. She hasn't. Instead of attending tonight, she's in Michigan receiving communion from Gretchen Whitmer. That's not a pretty sight. But Catholics, please don't be too insulted by Kamala's absence. If the Democrats, he says, thank you very much, I appreciate it. If Democrats really wanted to have someone not be with us this evening, they would have just sent Joe Biden. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep them away. That's a nasty one. That's nasty. I told these idiots that gave me this stuff, that's too tough. Oh, I did, you know, they told me the last time I did this, I was running against crooked Hillary. Hillary. No, I was running against crooked Hillary and I did it, and I thought it was a roast. So I was told it's a roast. And I had the meanest guy you've ever seen write stuff up, and man, was the room angry. Even the Cardinal remembers. I went overboard, don't you agree, Cardinal? It was like terrible. And I knew I was in trouble around midway through because, you know, people had not, even my own side was angry at me. They were saying, it's too much. But I did it anyway. I didn't give it away. I'd like to thank our MC this evening, Jim Gaffigan. Most recently, Jim has been playing Tim Walsh on Saturday Night Live. And that'll be a very short gig, I hope, Jim. But it was fun while it lasted, wasn't it? Let's see how that lasts. It better be quick. We don't want him, and I'm not going to say anymore. But unfortunately, Governor Walsh isn't here himself, but don't worry, he'll say that he was. He's going to say he was. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of aliens coming in from Texas. That's right.
I've recently changed the content on this channel from apolitical to political, so I'm losing a ton of subscribers. Am I boring you right now? So when I say like, share, and subscribe, please, oh please, oh please, oh please, subscribe. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Red Dawn Daily with your host, me, Dawn Marie, and sometimes Leroy.